Welcome. You're listening to the Drink a Little podcast, where we talk about exploring the world of wine and spirits while not letting it take over your life. My name is Kelly Doherty. I'm a joyful child of God and a certified life coach. I'm also a wine educator and wine and spirits brand designer. I'll show you how you can navigate your relationship with alcohol and how that mindset spills over into the rest of your life. We'll learn about the world of wine and spirits together, all while bolstering your confidence that you can have boundaries around alcohol and live your most amazing life. This is episode number 40. We're going from Stag's Leap last week to Humble Donkeys this week. So it's an action-packed episode of Drink a Little this week, where at the top of the show, we taste a little wine and see that something about the character of that wine or the name or region where it's grown brings us into talking about not over drinking and how to live your most fun and abundant life. So today we have a wine called Nostru, and this is actually from Sicily. So it is got on the label Terra Siciliane. And what struck me first was this super cute cutout drawing of a donkey with lots of colorful blankets on and even color in the ears, very elegant and ornate donkey. And I was interested because I personally have never had a wine from Sicily. So Sicily is the largest island in the Mediterranean, and it's just off that southwest tip of Italy. You may have heard of Mount Etna, and that's that volcano on the island of Sicily. So it dominates the landscape there, and the soils that the vineyards are planted on are typically volcanic in nature. So it makes very unique wines, and they make a broad range of different wines. And you would be able to identify that this is from Sicily on the label because it says Terra Siciliane. And so that's just land of Sicily. And your other clue, at least that it's from Italy, is on the back that it says product of Italy. So it does help to look on the back if you don't know. It's made out of a local grape called, now this is pronunciation here, Catarato. And Italy has hundreds of local varietals that are really indigenous there, and they're not produced in any other country. So you will not find this grape in other locations that I know of. Please let me know if I'm off base there, but I have not heard of it anywhere else. So this is a great opportunity to learn about this grape and experience just what it tastes like. So I'm going to pour some in the glass and give it a swirl and a little taste. It's pretty full-bodied. It doesn't just fall off your palate, which makes sense. It's a very warm growing region. So it's medium to full-bodied as far as a white, but it's very fresh. If it had oak, it would just have been a touch of oak because it's very mango, very melony, has some almost like a white peach, not a tropical peach, but a white peach. And the other thing that's really noticeable is mineral notes. And this makes sense. We were just talking about volcanic soil. So there's a lot of richness and mineral nutrients in volcanic soils. And that's beautiful that it ends up actually showing up in your glass. So I love this for summer. So fresh. And we'll get back to the donkey in a minute. So cute. But I wanted to share that this week I'm starting a series of 4 episodes that talk about what I call your core 4. These are your go-to core 4 actions. And if you're trying to shift your relationship with your alcohol, the core 4 is where you can always come back to as your baseline. And this is what I've been teaching in my program that I am just so excited to share with you today. And I made a little acronym for this core 4 that's easy to remember because it spells wine. Has 4 letters. And so that acronym is crucial to your journey in creating balance in your drinking. So I'll share them all with you today. And then we're just going to really talk about the first one. In the next episodes, we'll talk about 2, 3, and 4. So wine spells out, the W is for who. Who have you decided to be? Number 2, the I in wine is for intention. Number 3, the N in wine is for notice. And number 4, the E in wine is for experience. So for the next episodes, we're going to dive into intention, notice, and experience. But today we're dealing with the W in wine, and that is who. Who are you deciding to be? Who is your identity in your relationship with alcohol? Who do you want to be? And if I ask who do you want to be, that really implies that there's more than one option. It really means there's a whole range of options for you to choose from. And maybe you know someone that you can put in this who box. You can visualize, I'd like to be more like them. Maybe it's a character you've seen on television who's had a transformation, and that's somebody you would like to pick up some characteristics from. And I've talked in previous episodes about not identifying yourself as a drinker, but identifying yourself as a taster. We just had a little taste of this beautiful Sicilian wine. And thinking of yourself as a taster can really, shift the experience. Even though you're just shifting the language, it can truly shift the experience you're having in your mind and change your ultimate results. So identifying as a taster is one possible who. And this is where I'm coming back to the donkey. You thought I forgot about the donkey on this wine, but I just couldn't. So if you think about a donkey, what characteristics come to mind about who a donkey is? And donkeys have been somewhat maligned in written culture as stubborn or maybe stupid, perhaps. But donkeys in the Bible have been symbols of humility and peace and service, which kind of makes sense too. So those things sound nice, humility, peace, and service. But I want to take a page today from the stubborn donkey. And I don't know about you, but I've been known to be a little stubborn. I'm trying to be more mindful of the reasons I'm stubborn and make sure I don't just plant a flag on a hill being stubborn about something that doesn't make sense. But in this case, sticking to the plan you've made and sticking to the identity you're trying to create for yourself when you're actively shifting your relationship with drinking, that really can be challenging. And so we have to be stubborn about those things to get this who to stick. And so why do you think some things stick and some things don't? I think that things stick when we're stubborn enough to put those ideas in front of our brains again and again and again. And I don't know how many times it is. People say you have to hear something 5 times. You have to hear something 21 times. I don't know. Maybe we're all different. But to be stubborn enough to be honest with yourself and put the idea of who you want to become and who you are becoming in your next steps, putting it in front of yourself again and again until it does stick, that's my kind of stubborn. And things stick when they're simple. So try to keep this simple. And that's why I say I'm a taster. It's pretty simple. It's easy for me to remember. It reinforces my identity to myself every time I say it to someone else. So stubbornly keep things as simple as possible. And then things stick when they are connected to something emotional. And drinking can get to be a pretty emotional topic, you may have noticed. And so when I say, who do you want to be? When we're talking about the W in wine, I mean who in the simplest terms of who are you striving to be in this moment? And you don't have to push that idea out further than 24 hours. Again, we're trying to keep this simple, right? It can be very successful working just one step ahead of who you are at this moment and tying it to that emotion of success, tying it to the emotion of hope that things can be different, even when we're talking about just that next small step. And who are you trying to be in that next small step? Tie that to your emotional attribute of stubbornness and resiliency. And I know you can get to where you're trying to go. Think of this silly donkey on this wine label, and it will remind you to be stubborn. Stubborn for all the right reasons. And that's what I have for you this week. Pretty simple. Who are you trying to be? I have a special bonus episode later in the week, so look for that episode. And next week on this podcast, we will be talking about the letter I. I feel like I'm in kindergarten. We're talking about the letter I. We're looking at intention. And so you know that's one of my favorite words. And we are going to be looking at intention with a wine from Washington State called Substance. It's a Cabernet. Who knows what will happen? And if you are working on stubbornness and overdrinking, I do teach to a deeper level. I have a one-on-one coaching program tailored to your needs where we cover how to stop overdrinking, how to love yourself for all the right reasons, and emotional well-being. DM me on Facebook or Instagram or go to kellydoherty.com/cheers to learn more. I'll see you soon.